Our church took Baptist off, broke ties with Southern Baptist.
So, welcome to HyperDrive. It is still February 13th here in my location. I know some of you, it's already popped over into Valentine's Day, but that will happen during the show here for us. So,
and by the way, don't wait up for those flowers. I didn't send you any.
I'll get over it.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
I'll get through it.
Yeah. just to put a pin in all those inflated ideas that some of you guys out on YouTube like to throw out there with tongue in cheek,
Absolutely.
Homies don't go that way. Although I do love my brother.
Oh, I tell you what, we again, this I think this show tonight is going to come kind of close to like our phone calls, only it's going to be a little more focused than a lot of our phone calls, because a lot of we kind of boop, 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 bounce all over the place during those phone calls,
and a little more interactive.
Yeah, and
we're going to kind of get you guys involved in this. So
you folks out there,
warned. There's going to be some Q&A here, and there's also going to be some some back and forth. We're hoping you guys will get involved with this as much as we are, because this is some very interesting stuff we've uncovered here.
Yeah. The topic of tonight's show is going to be, we're going to start off with an article. It's 17 signs you have a high vibration. Okay. And a lot of you folks I know have delved into, different things, and, talking about frequency and vibration and, what that means to us as living beings, and different things, and what is your vibration, and then we're going to couple that along with discernment.
Yeah, something we kind of work on here, trying to develop, trying to get it honed in so that we can actually read what we're reading and understand it from the get-go, and and be able to impart that information to others.
But it's also just discernment of your daily life as you go through your daily life. Discerning different things. What does it mean? How does it relate? How do you break it down? And that. So I am very much looking forward to this, because this is something that if you ask yourself, okay, if you've been around for a while and you've been watching what's been going on. I'm 62 years old, Deadcat 68, and
69 actually.
69 actually, yeah, he just had a birthday. And we've watched things happen as we've lived our lives, and you start going, what the heck? It was like this, and then they're saying this, and then this, and then you read something or you see something on TV, you watch the news, and you go, what did he just say? What did that commercial just say? It's discernment, though, that comes from, and that question, that looking at things and going, what was that about? And maybe you don't make up your mind right away. Maybe you don't realize right away what it is you saw or experienced. And then you stop, you think about it, you roll it around and play with it a little while. And then maybe you even forget it. And then 2 weeks later, something goes bing. And you go, wow, that was it. Now I understand. Now I have a way of and a lot of times when we think we understand something, it's easier for us to talk about it. And that's the whole process of discernment. So anyway, that's on the agenda for this evening. So if you're ready, I am. How about you, Deadcat? You ready?
Reporting is ordered, sir. Let's rock and roll.
Let's do this. Okay. We'll get the top of the hour going here. and then fire up the old HyperDrive ship, put it into high gear, and away we go. We'll see you on the other side.
Good morning, afternoon, evening around the world, Patriots.
It's top of the hour.
You're listening to We the People, Patriot Soapbox 24/7 live stream.
Q Storm coverage 24 hours a day on YouTube.
We are researching topics of Q Intel information, the storm, and related news. You can find Q Intel at qanon.pub.
Below the YouTube video, you will find links to more sites of interest.
Please join our Patriot Soapbox forum, where you can interact, research, and share links of interest to the Patriot movement to make America great again.
Our live stream is a research think tank group, and some topics discussed may be disturbing or sensitive to many viewers. The content discussed and researched on this server is for entertainment, research, and information archiving purposes only.
The views expressed by those you hear speaking and see typing on this live stream belong only to those espousing them. None speaks for any other. Each person speaks for himself or herself. No individual speaks for We the People, Patriot Soapbox.
Please continue to expand your knowledge by researching the topics we discuss. Don't just take our word for it. The Anons of this live stream wish to address anyone associated with the QAnon movement in any capacity via any media or medium, and hereby state:
We do not approve of any form of vigilante justice. Violence and passing judgment are not in any way part of this platform.
We denounce all forms of violence, fraud, and bullying under any and all circumstances.
As patriots, we seek freedom, justice, transparency, and spread truth as a voice for those that cannot or will not speak for themselves.
We want to thank everyone for listening and participating in our live stream chats, and in the Discord, social media, and chans.
We also want to remind YouTube and Gab Patriot Chat, if you have a question, please use 3 question marks at the beginning of your question so that we can easily spot it. If you have breaking news, please name the source.
And if you notice a new Q post, please give us the number and date.
We give a shout out to our mods in live chat and thank them for all the volunteer hours they contribute to help this channel thrive.
And a shout out to each of you, our listeners and subscribers participating in the chat. For all the contributions you bring this channel, we simply could not do this without all of you.
Patriot Soapbox reciprocates channel affiliation, and we recognize Q Universe,
Gran Torino,
Ninja Warrior Anon,
Indie Wars,
Caravan to Midnight,
Dustin Nemos,
SGT Report,
Truth Hunter,
Praying Medic,
Citizen Investigative Report,
Black Mirror,
and Last Scout Radio on YouTube.
We appreciate their content and we think you will too.
We are grateful for your donations.
and you may make donations from the links in our forums. Thank you for your support.
Finally, we want to recognize all who have served honorably and in any capacity for freedom and service to others.
God bless everyone.
Absolutely. God bless everyone.
Yeah. God bless everyone. God bless our country and our POTUS and all the patriots. Love to have you out there. And thank you for joining us on HyperDrive, the February 13th into the 14th version. So sit back, get ready to use your keyboard tonight, because we're going to ask that you get involved.
And by the way, Sassy Q wants us to know in no uncertain terms, she hates that bugle.
Take it up with Black Mirror.
Yeah. That was actually just supposed to be a, listen up, guys. This is the beginning,
Yeah,
this,
the countdown,
this is the part that gets cut off, and they never got cut off. That was the deal right there.
Well, it's just part of the the top of the hour. That's all it is. It's just
Sassy says, "Sea wolves. Some people in my house do sleep at this hour. They don't appreciate the bugle." Ah, come on, Sassy. You hate that bugle.
too funny. All right. Well, There's one more part to the show here we need to do. I'm Thumper in the Pacific Northwest, and he is
Deadcat, east of the mountains, Oregon.
And you are. How about a quick roll call, guys, and we'll get this thing rolling. Okay, waiting. A little bit of coffee. Oh, it's spooling up. I can tell. I just hear it too many times a day, or a month, or a year. That's a Hazel. Okay, we have Sleepless in Arkansas, San Bernardino, California. Be My Valentine, Lady Wise Wolf. Hey, how you doing? Texas is checking in. HPWI. North Bend, Oregon. Wheaton, Illinois. Headed home from work in Nokomis, Florida. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. It's not bad. Could still be 6:30. Let's see. Something about Mr. Soft. Please hold my beer. Sassy's getting spunky. South Texas, Penguin, Tasmania. Thumper and Deadcat, Elder 5. Oak Harbor, warmed up. Lori Armstrong, how you doing there? Indiana, Roanoke, Virginia. Kokonin, Kansas City, Missouri. Okay, Eagle Point, Oregon, McAllen, Texas. And then we have Puller of Weeds in Montana, Delafield, Wisconsin. Go Navy! Scroll! Susie, how you doing? Me, north of the 49th, would be M. Nurk. Good evening, gentlemen. Helena, Montana, ready to rock. Patty Jane, Springfield, Missouri, Southwest Ohio. Yes, sir, Montana. Charles Wilhelm. How you doing, Charles? Good to have you with us there. Love our Montanians. Evansville, Indiana. Amityville, Johnny Schleps. And then we have Living a Dream in Arkansas, Ozarks. Go Space Force, says Shy Panther. How you doing there, Shy Panther? Yeah, that's Spokane, Washington there. Issaquah, Washington, still shoveling snow. Yeah, I guess up in Issaquah you might be. Eric White, Mountains, Arizona, 41 degrees and warm tonight. Okay, well, we're down to 21 here in my location here. Augusta, Georgia, Indiana, Oregon, St. Cloud, Minnesota. Though I don't, Dubious Maximus, he says, no, don't miss Reveille. Oh, yeah, no, I don't get up to Reveille anymore. El Paso, Texas. And Teresa Grota says, please pray for her husband, Greg. He can't walk after back surgery, off work for months, getting nerve block on 21st. Very dangerous procedure, needs to work. Well, our prayers go out to you folks, and hopefully that procedure will go well for you. All of our prayers. East Tennessee checking in. Oregon, Mustang Mary, northeastern Thailand, and too damned hot. Oh. The other day, I think he was, trying to make us jealous because it was like really nice and warm there, and we were shivering our patooties off here. Naval Observatory, Flagstaff, Arizona. And then Kathy Bake says, hope you guys piqued my interest this morning. Very tired in WSS Montana. Not sure what WSS Montana. Anyway, Mentone, California, northern Minnesota, northern Ireland. Bill Bragg, how you doing? Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Hazel, resistance is building. 4 people protesting. Toth. LOL. Okay, Northern California. Let's see here. Southern California, Middleton, and New York City, blowing away in Oklahoma, wind sweeping down the plains. Oregon coast, I think we need a 2019 version of the top of the hour. Hazel, I think that's in work. Snohomish, Washington, I'm shoveling snow even though the roads a mile from my house are perfectly clear, yet have gear of running into neighbors' cars. Have a fear of running into neighbors' cars. I think that's maybe what you meant there. All right. Snow and icy in Maryland, but Groundhog said spring is coming soon, sooner than last year. Okay. White Sulphur Springs, Montana, Kathy Bake. Baki, okay. And you have patooties too. Okay.
Depends on what your definition of patootie.
Oh, Hazel's snarky tonight. Look out. York, Pennsylvania, Dubious Maximus. Okay, what is the 07?
That's a salute.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
head with the salute. I
Okay.
had to figure that one out too. I wasn't sure about that, and I saw Pam had printed it in one of his comments there, and I thought, what the heck? What the heck is that?
Okay. Now that I know, yeah.
Yeah, but you got to do it with a small O and then a 7. Yes.
A lowercase O and a 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Salute. Okay.
Salute.
Mr. Sophocles says, bit squirrely here, says Mr. Sophocles. Okay, well, maybe you're of a high vibration.
Yes.
We'll find out.
I would be willing to bet that most of the people here, if not all, are of a higher vibration than your average person out there in the matrix.
You just never know, do you?
Can you do a double-handed salute? I think you can. I don't know if it means anything or just maybe I've got a headache or something like that.
Double forehead slap? I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. End up with 2 thud marks on your forehead instead of 1.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for doing the. I'll say we have Outlaw Woman in Colorado Mountains, and an old gamer thing. Amazing. Okay. Okay. Got it. You guys got it from the gamers. All right. Well, not being a gamer,
Oh, you missed out.
Yeah. Screwed it
It
up.
was some fun.
All right, Lori Armstrong. Go Navy! Salute. Thank you very much. Okay. Hey, you pronounced my name correct. Thumper Baki. Yeah. I try. And sometimes I get it right. Okay. So
some of these names are pretty. Oh, hey, TJ's here. Hey, TJ.
Okay.
I gave her fair warning. I gave her a few hours warning that we were going to be having a show. So
TJ's in the house. Everybody straighten up. Shh, don't do that. TJ's here.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Oh, and then we have Panchatula.
We won't tell you what TJ does for a living. That it would scare you.
All right. Well, so much has happened since Monday. Like, there was a Senate hearing earlier today that
was actually a House hearing.
Oh, was that a House hearing?
It had moron Nadler running it, so it had to be House.
Yeah. It had to do with more background checks and things like that when it comes to our Second Amendment and our firearms.
Yeah, I don't know how
you guys know how Deadcat and I get about that. So
yeah, well, if you guys pay any attention to my Twitter feed, you'll find out what I thought about that whole proceeding.
Yeah, and then people are talking about the rally the other day with President Trump down on the border. That was very interesting.
What a good one.
Yeah.
What a beauty.
Very, very good one. Very, very good one. So are you ready to dive into our topic of the evening?
I think we should. I think that now's a good time to get started. It is, after all, HyperDrive.
It's time for HyperDrive. Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm going to put it up on the screen here.
Okay.
Get it over
now,
here.
remember, folks, this is going to be sort of an interactive because we're going to be throwing this out to you guys, see what you guys think of it.
All right. Well, the title of this article that we're going to start working off first is 17 Signs You Have a High Vibration. It came out 12/30/2018 by Stillness in the Storm. Leave a comment. Stillness in the Storm is the name of the website, stillnessinthestorm.com. And Gerald Sinclair, he makes this comment. Everything on this planet has its own vibration, And most people who are living on a higher vibration don't even realize it. Okay. Now, just that phrase alone, what does that mean to you? If you're living on a higher vibration, what does that mean to you? And this is something I would like to hear you guys give us a quick explanation out there in the live chat there. What does that mean if somebody says, "Oh, you're operating at a higher vibration"? What would that mean to you? Let us know what your thoughts on that are.
Heck, I can't even swim, sink like a rock, Calico says.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not the connected to God. Samson says, Samson G. Baker says, connected to God.
Connected to God. I like that.
That's a good start. Yep.
Recognize the things for what they are and what they appear, and not for what they appear to be. That's a good one. My vibration is directly connected to how many pots of coffee. All right. Now, if you can't be serious.
All right, sis. Don't make me come in there.
Yeah. We're gonna visit you. God created everything with sound, i.e., vibration. Very good, Mustang Mary. I like that. Individual spirit entity. It means I'm in tune with God, my creator. Happy, happy, joy, joy. That's a good answer, actually. That's a very good answer. Higher vibrations mean, and then somebody didn't finish. Nobody has ever said that to me. Never thought about it. Speed of atoms, depth of understanding. Good for you. It means, for me, they're in the fifth dimension, possibly, or on their way there. Spiritual, frequency, enlightened. It means that we are solid in finances and positive things. Very good. Can sense things around you clearer. It means you feel very different from most people and cannot relate to them. That sometimes that is quite, super sensitive to your surroundings, spiritual things, tuned into the frequency of the universal love, HBWI. Very good. Like it. Good vibrations. Beach Boys song. Well, yeah. Good vibrations.
Well, you guys definitely have the right idea.
Yeah, definitely. I love the answers. My wheels are out of alignment. Okay, Eyes of Texas. I'm watching you.
This is an area of serious discussion.
It means I'm up watching HyperDrive when I should be asleep. Okay. Thank you for being here, but that'll be the last. Yeah, you're on the watch list. Okay. Higher vibration is love. Quite possibly. Yeah, it could mean that. LOL, people can't relate to me. There might be some truth to that. Does it mean you're wrong? I don't think so. Appreciate life as it truly is. Absolutely. Dream in real time. Dewey Osborne says, I'm thinking, give me an hour. Okay, well. Have some coffee, get your vibration moving there, Dewey. Okay. All right. So anyway, those are all just fantastic answers. Thank you, everyone. All right.
They're asking for your Twitter out there.
My Twitter?
Yeah, they're wondering what our Twitters are. I know I referenced my Twitter. That's had put some responses in there to some of the comments about the Second Amendment stuff that's been going on. Matt Gates has posted a little video on Twitter that tells of his, standing strong for the Second Amendment. And then he goes in there and he, stands kind of, actually involving himself in how they're going to, get the Second Amendment watered down a little bit. I says, if it's not shall not be infringed, it's not constitutional. So,
All right.
Not to say Matt Gates is not a good, strong, strong supporter of us, but you know, you can't negotiate on something as solid and important as the Second Amendment. No negotiation.
Yeah, it was interesting. Indy and Abe, they had a guest on this morning. He's the guy that's running against Sheriff Israel down in Broward County. And he was doing really great until they asked him about the Second Amendment. And then he started talking about, well, you know, people need to go through classes and they, you know, we need a really good, solid background check, you know, because, you know, we have to be able to decide, you know, who should have a gun, who shouldn't have a gun. And oh, good Lord, you know, the floodgates opened up and I couldn't, you know, and so did mine. I went, okay, we're done here. You don't get it. He's still living in the Matrix.
Yep.
And live chat ate him up.
Oh.
ate him up.
Oh, so good. I wish I hadn't missed that.
I mean, he was doing fine up until that point, and then oh boy, the guns unloaded. the Twitter guns went, or not the Twitter, but the live chat guns came alive.
Did they blow him off the channel?
Well, he was watching it, and he's like, I think it gave him a very, very good idea of what people think of having their Second Amendment rights abbreviated by, you know, a government that does not understand the words "shall not be infringed."
Yeah. Let's get it right.
It's very simple, very, very direct. And they wrote it that way for a reason.
Yep. T-Bongo 11, absolutely. No compromise. We don't deal on that one.
Nope.
Infringed. That's a Q. What?
Infringed? Oops.
Yeah.
Forgot an R there, sweetie.
It shall not be infringed.
Okay. All right. Getting back to what we're diving in here. Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
When we were moving,
back to serious.
Yeah, back to serious.
Yeah, wipe that silly grin off your carapace.
You ready?
Yeah. Done messing around. Is that what you're trying to say? Yes. Yes, I am. Okay.
When we are moving forth, now is the time when you interrupt me. I would do it to you after that. Don't get coffee up your nose, all right? When we're moving forth with a high vibration, we are allowing ourselves to appreciate life as it truly is. We are aware of the beauty surrounding us and really making the most of each day that passes. Those who are most positive are also those with high vibrations. Below, I'm going to go over some signs that you might have a high vibration. If these things are true to you, then you are on the right track. While not all of them will be present in the lives of everyone, the more signs you relate to, the closer you are to understanding just how high your vibration is. Okay? 17 signs you have a high vibration. You want to take the first one there, DC?
Absolutely, and this is a very important one. This is number one, and it might be a good one to be for number one. You are thankful for the things you have. People with high vibrations are very thankful in general. They know that without the universe and the powers at play, they would not be where they are. They know how important it is to acknowledge all the universe is doing for them. Okay, that's a good one for you guys out there. How thankful are you, and what are you thankful for? And try to keep it on a semi-serious basis. I know we've been kind of kidding around here, but try, let's kind of look inside and see, think of something you really are thankful for.
Seawolf, the first one.
I'm not seeing it yet.
Thankful in all things. God commands it. Nice answer.
I like it.
I like that.
I like it. Kathleen Mesa said that.
Yes. proud, active patriot, true to my country. My father is a Marine, and I'm faithful to God for everything. I'm safe, just misunderstood. My kids are a little piece of heaven.
Yeah, I like that one. Fuller of weeds. My kids are a little piece of heaven.
Well, you know what? What is it you truly leave to this planet when you're gone? Hopefully, they're still here when you're gone, and that is your kids, your progeny. Okay.
Lady Cole, gratitude attracts more things to be grateful for. You got that right. It's like a magnet, isn't it? TF Design says, thankful for everything, mostly my wife. Boy, hey, I know that one, brother.
Mm-hmm.
I know that one.
Mm-hmm. Thankful for my Lord and Savior and my family, friends, and health. There you go. We love you too, Sassy. It's easier walking with Jesus. Thank you, God. Yes. God commands us. Very thankful for everything God has given us. The grace of God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you, HPW.
I am leg man. My wife's legs. Hey, I'm with you on that one too, brother.
Yeah.
A little bit facetious.
Careful, you might end up on the watch list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting perilously close.
Are you humbly grateful or grumbly hateful? Thank you, Hazel. That's a good question. Excellent.
Thankful. Johnny Schlepp says, thankful for every breath I draw. For without God, we can do nothing. You got that right, brother.
Grateful for God's love and my family, from TJ. There.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And so when you're thankful, okay, I know that when I take my dogs for a walk and we go for our big long walk, like on the weekends in this big wide open field, I get such clarity because I'm out there and I'm appreciating, I'm watching my dogs run around, and there's just joy in in what they do. They're sniffing, they're running, they're hanging with you got the one sniffing one thing and the other two come over. What are you sniffing? That's really cool. Okay. And you watch that, and it's a joyful thing. You see other people out watching their dogs and enjoying being outside. And it's at those times when, I have clarity, or I get clarity over something that maybe I'm, kind of mussing over or something. And I know you've spoken of that when you're out, like at your hunting camp with your brothers and your family. And
what a joy. What an absolute joy. Just take a breath. Oh, man, I'm telling you, just inhale the world. What a feeling.
Yeah, definitely. I used to, when I think of when I was doing a lot of skiing, when I think of that, one of the things that always comes to mind is standing on the side of the hill about maybe a quarter of the way down. So you're still high on the mountain, and you have a wonderful view, and you maybe a clear day, and you can see forever, the beautiful sky above you, and this beautiful white mountain snowscape out there. And you can't help, at least I can't help, just looking up to God and saying, thank you for this, what's before me, and the opportunity to enjoy it in this fashion. It's an amazing thing. Okay. So, and if that indicates if that's one of those 17 things, then cool. I'm with it, because you just feel so full of the gifts that God's given us
and connected.
Mm-hmm. Number 2, you can feel the oneness that we all share. People with high vibrations can sense the oneness that we all share with each other and every living thing on this planet. We are all connected, and that is something many need to come to terms with. Each and every person is part of the bigger picture. And even if you cannot see them right now, there are energetic lines bringing each one of us to the next. Wow. That's an incredible, and if you can just appreciate what I just read, then or if you're out there going, what the hell is this crap Thumper's reading? Okay, well there you have the differences. All right. Now our good friend Caleb, he speaks of when he took some time and he was out in the desert and just had his dog with him and stuff, and he recalls he had such clarity and things. He worked through a lot of different things. That pretty much goes with the first one, but it also goes with this one. That oneness you share with other people, that caring, that love, that oneness is love. Okay, love for each individual. So anybody in the chat, anything you want to comment, or you can feel that oneness that we all share. How would you describe that oneness? And
are you asking me?
Or you? Yeah, please, Deadcat, please.
Oh, well, first of all, the oneness is what we are realizing that the deep state has been trying to, get us taken away from. And that's really it's interesting that that's what brought us all here, was our realization that we are one, that we all, where we go one,
we go all.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was going to get that in at some point in this section, because that's huge.
That's the basis of this, is the realization that we are all connected, and we're all connected in a way that you don't ever have to be lonely. You never have to be lonely, because you are never alone. You always have all of us with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's and to understand that, to realize that, to internalize that, to know that, if you need to turn to someone, if someone's going to be there. Many people are going to be there. We're all in this together. And
let me ask you a question, though.
Yes.
And not just you. This goes out to live chat as well.
Yeah.
And before you answer, let's let live chat throw it in here. Okay. But why? For what reason are we connected? Think about it. Think about it for a moment. What reason are we connected? Why did God create that bond? Why was that necessary? All right, live chat. It's we're throwing it to you guys.
Yep. There will be a quiz later. Wait a minute. It's later. Time for the quiz.
Okay. Now, granted, God's relationship with each one of us is an individual relationship. Absolutely. Nice one, Dubious Maximus out there. Because you are in the universe. If God is all things and everything, you are testimony to God and his consciousness, and because you are sentient. Okay. Oneness is our recognition that we're all made in God's image, and see that spark of divinity in ourselves and each other. Nice answer, Adam. To help each other know love. Unfortunately, it feels like there's not enough of that feeling in the world. I pray a bit, smoke clear. God created everything. We see God in all his creations. Nicely said, Irene. Thank you.
Oh, here's a good one. Cindy Sable, God wanted family. Boy, did you hit that one on the head.
Nice.
That is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That is perfect.
Power in numbers. Okay.
Well, puller of weeds, we are trying to rise above that. Yes, we're not actually ignore it or anything like that, and we're trying to take that out of the mix.
But and we go back to our Q-posts. Why do they want us divided? Why do they work so hard at dividing us?
Divided, you are weak.
And then, instead of that oneness, that connection that we have and if you are devoted to division, then so you don't want folks getting together. And I guess that would be kind of in service to yourself rather than service to others.
And why would that be? Why would that be? Fear? Envy? Jealousy?
All of those things that God says you should try your best to avoid.
Annie Get Your Gun says to carry his words, his capitalized, yes, we know, his words to the next generation. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And when you see evil and you call it out, and if somebody else is seeing the same evil and they call it out, you have strength in numbers, strength, the power in each one of us have the power, yes, but its strength in numbers is by far, a better way to, put that stuff away, get rid of it. You want to take number 3 there?
Before I do, I want to give a shout out to Chris, because she was hammering hard on that on her show, and she usually does, but in particular, I caught a few references tonight. She was hammering hard on casting out those bad things, casting out those, like be gone. You evil being, be gone, and she's very strong on that. So I shout out to her. That was excellent. It fits right in with this with that number 2 there. The more you are connected to all those around you with the intent to love and companionship, friendship, and fellow travelers through this world, the more you have power to cast these things out of your life.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, number 3 there.
Yes. Number 3, you do not indulge in drama. People with high vibrations do not let drama play any kind of role in their lives. They do not let people tell the business of others to them, and they do not share their own. Unless you are someone they truly trust, you won't be learning any of their secrets. That one there, that's a pretty good one to start unpacking, isn't it?
Oh, I'll tell you what.
I like that.
How many times, in the live chat here, how many times have you seen the drama get really intense?
Oh yeah, and the trolls get in there, and they just they know the triggers, they know the words that get people going. They'll watch long enough till they see something that causes a little bit of irritation or dissension in someone, and they will go right at it. They will aim right at it.
Yeah,
they will create the drama.
I despise drama. I despise it because it distracts you. That's its only job, is to distract and to divide.
That's it. It's enervating. It just sucks the life out of you. It just sucks your energy right out of you. The more you involve yourself in it, the less energy you have to live your own life, and the less energy you have to give to others.
Okay, let's see. Run as fast as I can from drama. Cheryl Wilson. Yes, I agree. Yeah, we're going to stand in the gap like the Bible tells us to do. No fear. Happens when words are misunderstood or they turn out to be a troll toad. Okay.
Sassy Q says, no palace intrigue. Perfect.
Well, you see, there's a difference between do not let drama play any kind of a role in their lives. Okay, is calling it out, letting it play a role in your life? I don't believe so.
That's just putting them on notice.
If you put them on notice, if you say, I see you, okay, which is, let's look at in the movie Avatar, when he and the female are, and she says, I see you. And he says, I see you. That is they're acknowledging that they're seeing something more than just the physical. They're seeing the consciousness, the life entity that is there. And so what you do is, if you can when you call someone out, I do it all the time. If I engage a troll, it's more of a way of saying, I see you. All right. Mm-hmm. And I will not engage in a discussion or in any of that. I mean, it's just, we're not going to go there. I have better things to do with my time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gossip stirs up, turn, and walk away. Yes.
Yep. Absolutely. Stay away from the water cooler.
Talking over each other and not actively listening. Yes. Life is too short.
Was that a hidden message there?
Where? What?
The talking over each other and not listening. I wonder if there was a hidden message in there.
I don't know. Eliminate drama and negative. Discuss solutions, not problems.
I like it.
Yeah, and I love that. The drama. Somebody, like at the office or someplace, where you're working or whatever, there's a problem, and everybody goes, well, it's because of this, it is this and this and this. Stop, just stop right there. Okay, let's fix this. How do we fix it? Okay, the problem is this broke. Did it break because somebody broke it? Is it broke because it wasn't designed correctly? Or the process broke down. Okay, what is a better way of moving forward? Try something. And if that doesn't fix it, then try something else. Let's keep working forward. I mean, if they say Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Well, how many tries did he have at it before he actually came up with the light bulb? I think there was there's some number. You might know that, Deadcat.
Well, first of all, Thomas Edison didn't come up with the principle, but he did make the first light bulb that was mass
viable. Yeah.
Yes, actually, Nikola Tesla came up with the light bulb concept.
Mm-hmm.
Actually made it work, but he didn't have the kind that you could interchange and screw in and and sell at a high volume.
Okay.
So that was Edison's.
But my point being is that there were several failures before they came up with something that worked. If they sat down and they just mussed about the failure and got all dramatic about it and we might still be using candles and well oil lamps. Okay, so you don't move forward. You set it aside, learn from it, and move forward, and we'll come up with a plan.
That's it. And failure is the road to success.
But you don't let failure.
You understand what you did wrong. Don't do it again. Don't do it that way again. Do it different the next time.
Don't get caught up in the drama.
Yep.
Of it.
Patty Jane says, why is it our family members show the most drama? Well, because they know the most triggers.
Do you allow it? Do you allow it? Or, because, I didn't allow it. Whoa, wait, stop them right there. Knock off the drama. If you want to be a drama queen, go away. I don't need it here. Not going to deal with it.
You have better things to do.
I have much, much better things to do.
Let's try something different than that.
Okay, number 4. You think we beat this one up enough here for time being?
I think we have.
Okay. You practice self-care. People with high vibrations take care of themselves. They know that their own well-being is important, so they put it first. If they do not take care of themselves, they won't be able to take care of others. Wow. Now that has a lot of, you can go a couple of different directions with that. You take care of themselves. HPWY, pride and ego selfishness. Okay.
Yep.
Now, wait a minute. Hang on. I got because this hit me. Just let me go here. Pride, ego, and selfishness. Okay. When is it taking care of yourself? Where's that line between taking care of yourself and pride, ego, and selfishness? Hi, chat.
I have a phrase that I like to use called it is enlightened self-interest, and that's exactly what this number 4 is about. Take care of yourself so that you are able to take care of others.
Mm-hmm.
Enlightened self-interest is the taking care of yourself, having the interest in yourself to keep yourself healthy, to keep yourself strong, to keep yourself, virile and moral and powerful so that you can do what needs to be done.
Okay, I'm going to read it again here for everybody. I think Dewey was asking to read it again. People with high vibrations take care of themselves. They know that their own well-being is important, and so they put it first. If they do not take care of themselves, they won't be able to take care of others. Balance wellness, yes. Spiritual well-being, great. A very important part of that. There's the physical, and then there's the spiritual and mental. If you don't take, how many people have seen somebody that spends hours and hours and hours caring for someone else, a loved one, an elderly couple, where one of the couple is starting to have aging issues and things like that, and the other individual becomes the caregiver, and it wears and wears and wears on them. And unless they take time to take care of themselves, how much can they eventually give to their loved one? If you want to be able to care for others, you have to care for yourself.
Susie Bernier, God keeps me strong. When I run out of energy, he gives me a boost to make it through to care for others like I care for my mom with Alzheimer's. Oh, God bless you on that one. That is a tough row to hoe there. Whew. My prayers go out to you there, Susie.
I mean, and we've all been in a situation where we've been in it's been necessary for us to help care for another person in our family, or maybe an extended family member or something like that, or someone who calls out for your help and your assistance. And one of the most helpless things is if you can't help them, but maybe just a positive word, a word of encouragement, if nothing else, you remind them that God loves them or something, just anything positive, to try to lift them up. But unless you're in, physically or spiritually prepared, and you've taken care of yourself that way. How about you, Deadcat? Any?
It's just like a muscle. It's just you exercise, you work, like work out. You a lot of people they'll go to the gym. I think Thumper's a member of a gym. He goes there and he gets you have, after you've had a workout, you feel strong. You feel like you feel more able to do things. This is what your spiritual muscles are, what your mental muscles are, what your moral muscles are.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the physical, it's all of these things, your strength and your, when you're talking self-care, you're talking about all of the parts of you that you are able to bring to bear on situations in the world that need your attention, that need you to be at your best game, to need you to be on top of things. All of this comes into play. And to practice self-care is to practice your ability and strengthen your ability to deal with the things in your life and deal with the things in the lives of those around you that you care about and that you want to help.
Mm-hmm.
That's what self-care is all about.
Any great
clean, and you're able to do what you need to do out in the world.
Annie, get your gun out there. It says, when I cared for my paraplegic double amputee husband for so many years, I never took care of myself. Rest in peace to my sweet husband. And that was, God love you there, Annie. Your husband went, knowing that you loved him and you cared for him. That's, and I'm sure that was, a bittersweet moment at that time, because it can really, you have to be really strong to deal with those situations. So I know that when I ended up as a single dad, I quit smoking. I did religiously, hit the gym. That was my hour and a half each day, Monday through Friday, that I took in my lunch hour, and I went to the gym, and I did that because I knew I had to keep myself strong so that I could be strong for my two boys as I raised them up. And, people would ask, why you got a job, you got this and this and this and this, all this, and the boys and everything. How can you just take an hour and a half every day and go to the gym? I said, well, if I didn't, I probably wouldn't be able to walk to the gym if I wanted to. Okay. I needed that breakaway time, that time to just take care of myself and then get back into the fight, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And let's see. Thank you, Dubious Maximus. Appreciate that. Thought it would be.
Well, actually, I believe he's the one that brought us the link.
I'm trying to remember where I did find the link. Anyway, you want to take number 5 there, Deadcat?
Absolutely.
Mr. Deadcat.
Hold on.
It's the Deadcat.
For some reason, my screen is gone. I don't have my information here anymore. I can't get to my.
You can look at the share screen, can't you?
I can't. Well, okay, I can see it on YouTube, but that's it.
Oh, you mean you're not getting the Zoom share?
No, I'm not. I'm not getting. Oh, here I see. Okay, yeah, I think I can get it now. All right, yeah, I can get it now.
Okay.
Right. Somehow I went on full screen and I couldn't get back to it. What a pain in the butt. Oh well, here we are. I found it. Hey, yippee! Okay, number 5. This kind of dovetails from number 4. Where we were discussing the taking care of yourself. Number 5, you feel strong. People with high vibrations feel strong. They do not walk around with their heads down and moods low. They hold their own and bring with them a sense of power. While they do have their weak moments, they always pick themselves back up. Absolutely. And boy, I'll tell you what, if you walk out there in the world with a sense of strength and confidence, it really shows in the people around you. They really, I mean, they don't, it's not like they get out of the way because they're in fear. They actually move in a little bit closer because they feel the kinship, they feel the strength. They want to touch that. They want to feel that strength. And it's really a good thing. You know, it's a very good thing because it's a connecting thing.
Mm-hmm. Do you think walking down the street with your head buried in your phone is do you think that's a sign of strength, or do you think that maybe that's you're showing a weakness?
Vulnerability at the very least. You know, the less you pay attention to your surroundings, the less you're able to keep your your situational awareness going.
And again, and that's one of the things I thought of, is situational awareness. Okay, if you are in a higher vibration and you are taking stock of the environment around you, enjoying the gift that God gave you of all that's around you, the people, the buildings, the outdoors, wherever you're at, and you're observing and drawing in and taking in that environment, you are aware. If your focus is like, and I don't mean to use it, but I mean, it is something that we see in society every day now. We see people just, heads down, buried in a phone or something like that, and you're not taking into your consciousness what's around you, the gift that God's given you. That you'll just naturally be situationally aware of what's going on around you, good and bad.
So what do you guys think about that out there? We're talking about feeling strong. What do you think? Overcoming. Lady Cole says, at TJ Molan Labe, overcoming, persevering. You betcha. You betcha. You betcha. Standing up against the slings and arrows. It's what our president does. Does he come from a point of weakness? You watch him up there on the stage. You watch him go through his day. You watch him in all the videos that we see and all the, when nobody's looking, when the people get these, like he's shaking hands with every one of those people in the Annapolis graduating class stood there and shook hands with every one of the graduating class at Annapolis there. I mean, this is our president. This is, he is the epitome of showing us what strength is all about. Everybody in your life that you look up to, they are strength personified. You don't look up to somebody that's looking down.
It's funny because, in his speech the other night, he talked about, walking a dog, what would I look like with walking a dog? He took the chance. His handlers, or previous presidential handlers would say, "Oh, never make fun of walking a dog. You see me out on the front lawn of the White House, walking a dog, this, But he said that wouldn't be me, and that's not what the people that look to me. That's not what they're looking for. Now, if he was known in New York to have been walking 3 dogs every day, and he stopped doing that, when he became the president, he'd have a tough time convincing us that, well, it's just, but the chances are, if he did that while he was in New York, if he had a dog and he was doing that while he was just Donald J. Trump, real estate magnate, businessman, and he came to the White House, well, we would, he might have to say, well, for security reasons, the Secret Service really doesn't want me running around on the front lawns with the dogs. That's why I let somebody else do it. But I dearly miss walking my dogs or something like that. But that's just not him. That's not who he was. And why should he be something that he isn't? I thought it was a great point. But he felt strong enough to be able to say that. And those of us that don't buy into the BS believe it and understand. But, the political handlers would have you think that, you can't say something like that because people are going to take, well, if you have a media that's going to press that issue, yeah, they might be able to convince you that you should not like this man because he doesn't like to walk dogs. Right? See how it works?
On the other hand, I have to admit, I don't like Mitt Romney, and partly because he put his dog in a crate and carried it on top of his car.
Come on, man.
I'm sorry.
Oh. And how much of that was media driven? How much of that do you think was media driven?
Yeah.
Right? For crying out loud.
Yeah, well.
Oh, I tell you. So, yeah, you walk with your head high. You walk with a sense of self. People will notice. I find people, people have asked me, are you a cop?
Yeah. I've gotten that question too. I didn't know they allowed cops to have long hair. No, not a police officer.
To know?
But I do seriously appreciate police officers. Yes.
But no, people have, I remember I dropped off my kids at the babysitter's one time, and I drive up, and I drive, hustle the kids into the house there, and then I come back out and get in the car and everything, and then a couple of days later, the babysitter, she says, my neighbor, was asking about, she says, who's that cop that keeps dropping off his kids at your house every morning? And she says, he's not a cop. He sells insurance.
Well,
but this woman was convinced I was a cop.
Probably got you a whole bunch of new customers too. Yeah. He's strong. Let's go.
And this was the lady that lives across the street, and I'd never seen her face, never met her or anything, but she just watched me drive up and drop the kids off and get back in the van and drive off to work, and but it's, and I don't present, I'm not trying to present anything that other one I am, I'm just doing my thing. So see, did you read that last one? Or you read that last one?
I read the last one.
Okay.
You're up on number 6 there.
Number 6, you are in good health and overall financially stable. People with high vibrations.
This is a biggie.
Yes, it is.
It is.
People with high vibrations are, for the most part, in good health and comfortable with their finances. This is because they are operating on a level that resonates with the universe. Because they are where they need to be, they are able to manifest things within their lives.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. That is a very, very good one right there.
What does this guy mean to you guys? What is this number 6? Okay. You're in good health and overall financially stable. And that last part, this is because they are operating on a level that resonates with the universe, because they are where they need to be and are able to manifest things within their lives.
Okay, I apologize out there for getting people off on the Mitt Romney tangent. I apologize for that. Let's try to come back and get back on track. I should have never said that. I made a joke at a bad time. So, okay, Mustang Mary. Good health, finances not so much.
Ask yourself, okay, now. And I've dealt with, I deal with this all the time. I run a business. I have to manage the cash flow. Cash flow at some times of the year is better than other times of the year. And so, we have to deal with those things.
You have people that count on you.
But what have we seen? We have seen, small businesses, and I have a small business. I'm not a huge business. Okay. And it's been under attack. There has been a concerted effort to attack and eventually kill off small business. Had Hillary won that election, I doubt I would be in business today. Okay?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And
right. So
her attack was the health of our nation.
If you are under attack, there's only so much, I only have so much ammunition to work with here. And, and I'm at the mercy of major deep state corporations, okay? The insurance industry, it's part of the financial services industry. And it's all deep state, every bit of it. And, and I also deal with the idea of how can I work within this environment and maintain my integrity? Okay. And it means that I have to give up doing certain things that other people are just going to go ahead and do because, I can make money there. I can make money over there. I can make money there. And there's certain things I won't touch. I won't do. I won't sell life and or health insurance. Me personally. Now, we sell it in the office, but I'm not licensed for it. Don't want to have anything to do with it. Because it's, it's a mess. It's crap. It's garbage. I won't deal with it. All right. But you know what? There's something else that's going to come up in these, in these 17 or, well, actually 13, and then there's 4 more that are discernment. But there's something that's going to come up here that's going to answer the next part of this of my statement here. All right, so I'm gonna hold off until we get to that point because I'm gonna bring the 2 points together. So if you're doing the best you can now, are you out? Are you trying to save some money? Are you trying to live within your means? Okay. Maybe your means are very meager. Maybe they're not so meager. But you're aware of it and you're dealing with it. Or is your credit card your best friend and you only pay off enough of it so you can charge a little bit more on it because that's all you have left on the credit balance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's between you and the next meal.
Is it? Is your credit card? Let me ask you this: do you have more than 1 or 2 credit cards? And will you ever be able to pay off the balance? Ask yourself realistically: will you ever be able to pay off that balance? Unless you win the lottery. These are important questions you have to ask yourself. Did you manifest that yourself? Could you have maybe not have gone there, done that? One of the biggest things that people are having financial problems with nowadays, and one of the biggest reasons for bankruptcies, is health issues. Hospital bills, medical bills, things like that.
Mm-hmm. And to a great extent, to be fair, they're kind of out of your control.
Don't wake up. I've always tried to live within my means, but I've been married twice. I've been married 3 times. Okay.
Yeah. In cases such as that, you kind of try to get as far away from your means as you possibly can.
The funny thing, Only Cuff, and the only reason I'm saying this because I know she doesn't listen to the show. At least I don't think she is. She's probably in bed now. But my first wife is the bookkeeper for my business, but I'm the one that signs the checks,
that's
spends the
pretty
money.
Relationship like
And there's a reason for that.
Let me throw in my read on what financially stable is. overall financial stability is having enough to live through whatever period of time it is until you get another infusion and be able to absorb a shock. And if you can cover that, if you can be comfortable, have food to eat, have your living arrangement taken care of, your bills paid, etc., and at the end of it, you still have enough that you can put away a little bit so that in case something like that deductible, in case you get crashed into, especially relevant in the kind of weather we've been getting, you can't control what other people do, but you can control what you do. But you get out there on the streets in slick weather, you get out there amongst a bunch of people that may or may not know how to operate their vehicles well in an environment that's slick, icy, snowy, whatever, you could get crashed into. You've got a deductible to pay. Can you cover that deductible? Can you handle that deductible? And this goes with the insurance and stuff. So,
but these are all, it's your finances. It's
yes, exactly right.
These are all just things. Are you prepared for something to come along, or, is that going to have to go on a credit card? Okay. And this is what, again, what's one of the biggest things that is the disruptor of marriages, relationships? It's money. Finances and money. All right. Exactly. So let's just leave it at that, because we could beat that all night, beat that to death all night long. Number 7, Deadcat, are you ready to go for this one?
I am ready. Number 7, you are content in your own life. People with high vibrations are content with who they are and how they are moving forward. They know that even the hard parts of life happen for a reason. While things might not always be as great as they want them to be, they are still staying as positive as possible. What do you guys think of that one? That one there, let's throw that right out to you guys. What's your read on that?
Let's see. USMC Mom there is answering back to the other question there. There is nothing wrong with your ex working with you. Smoke clear. Tatanka Kevin. So true. I'm loyal and very protective of my family.
I like going weak cuffs one. I love my wife so much I divorced her so I could marry her a second time.
There you go. Well, that was also Dewey Osborne says I divorced my first wife twice.
Okay. Well, two things come to mind there. Either you didn't learn your lesson the first time around, or you really, really love that woman.
There you go.
Or both.
All right. So, content with who they are and how they are moving forward. They know that even the hard parts of life happen for a reason. While things might not always be as great as they want them to be, they are still staying as positive as possible. Yes. Is the light bulb at the end of the tunnel burned out, or is there a light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, and do you know it's not an oncoming locomotive?
Well, you can always walk along one of the walls just in case.
Stay near the edge.
Moving forward.
There goes that back to the situational awareness thing.
There you go. And the other thing is it's content. Content means that you're ready for the next thing to come along. Situational awareness, as Deadcat said, and your confidence will provide content.
Well, and if you think about it in terms of, do you always look for something better to come along? Are you always looking for that greener pasture? Are you always looking at the other side of the fence and being envious that others have it better than you do? Then you're not content with your own life. So you are, you're always at odds with yourself. You're always at odds with those around you.
Okay. Let's see. I think your ability to adjust to what life throws at you. Yes, that's a good one. Mountains and valleys, obviously. Let's see here. The divorce was specifically to enable the second marriage. For a while, she was my wife and my fiance simultaneously. Okay. Never, ever. Never, ever what? They're dubious.
Yeah.
Joshua Kim, I'm gay. Okay. That's,
If as long as you're happy.
That's your personal business.
Yeah. Ianetta or Lynetta Brown, I'm happy to be alive. I enjoy every day I have to live and am grateful for all I have experienced. Well, you've already got 3 out of the first 7 we've read here. That's pretty good.
Heaven is our bright light and it will be glorious. And you know what? God takes care of our enemies. Amen. Yes, he does. He will.
Yeah, God wins. That's a fact. Cindy Sabal, God doesn't give you more than you can handle. Life is an adventure. Well, that's not necessarily true in some cases, but if you look at it from Caleb's point of view, as he has pointed out several times, life does give you more than you can handle, but you seek strength in the Lord, and then you can handle it.
Hey, very good analogy here. If you go to the gym and you're trying to bulk up, what do? You lift heavier weights, and you do more reps and more reps. When you first go, you don't lift as much weight, you don't do as many reps. And then as you do that, you have to add more weight and more reps, or just more weight, depending on, we won't get into the whole semantics of the whole thing. But your muscle doesn't grow unless you challenge it. And that's the same thing. The challenges that we have in life are those things that, God is these things are there so that you are challenged to grow and to, experience these things. And because you come to find out that, there's usually, as this list exemplifies, if you are looking at this and taking into account what it's saying here, what it's telling you, you can grow to a higher vibration by listening to these things and challenging yourself to these goals, to these, it's giving you very, very good pointers on how to, better grow within your life, grow with God. Deadcat?
I was reading out there on YouTube, Susie Bernier, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Our highest privilege is to talk to God. Our highest duty is to listen to him. Boy, well said.
Mm-hmm.
Very well said. And TJ threw a happy Valentine's Day at both of us. So
awesome. Thank you, TJ.
Yeah, it says, Deadcat and Thumper, please be my Valentines. Just want to say happy Valentine's. If I wasn't already married to the greatest husband in the world, you two are at the top of the biggest, sweetest. Right back at you, sweetheart. Right back at you. And let me, all of you people out there who've been supporting TJ through your prayers and through your strength and through all of the love that you've been sending her, God bless you, because she has gone through something here. And by the way, we are past the midnight hour.
Yeah, it's Happy Valentine's Day here on the West Coast.
Happy Valentine's Day. But the point I was going to make is that yesterday, coincidentally, as in TJ's, throwing this out there for people to pay attention to, yesterday was National Breast Implant Awareness Day. Are you aware that those implants are dangerous? And if you have them, I would be looking to somebody other than the doctor who gave them to you to get some kind of a resolution there. because they're turning out to be very, very dangerous for you.
Yes,
so
they
just
are.
keep that in mind. And TJ was the one that really brought this out there. She's been suffering for years and years with maladies that nobody was able to determine where they came from, and they finally found out, and that was the cause. And so just keep that in mind, And thank you, TJ, for having the strength and having the the courage to step out and say this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
God bless you.
And our prayers for a complete and 100% recovery and no more of the stuff that you've had to deal with. All right. Let's see. Were we on number 8 here?
Yes. As a matter of fact, we are. And that's yours.
Okay. You are an open-minded individual. People with high vibrations are usually quite open-minded. They will approach each and every situation being able to look at it from all perspectives. They don't push their way or views on others. They are willing to see things in a different light. How many of you can, be honest about your answer on that? Can you accept that other people are going to have different ideas, different ways of dealing with things? Or does it have to be your way?
My way or the highway.
When is it appropriate to be my way or the highway? Or is it appropriate to be my way or the highway?
Very good question.
Okay. How about a live chat? Anybody out there? You guys are slowing down here. What are you doing? Where are you going? You guys falling asleep? We don't need you to fall asleep here.
Mustang Mary
watching you.
Yeah. Mustang Mary says, yes, open-minded and extremely patient with idiots. You may be slightly missing the point there. Just, red pilling. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Red pilling is a form of getting people to look at different sides of a situation. You look at it and you say, yeah, I was in that. I understood that, that there had to have been something, and really open-mindedness is a lot of what brought everybody here. All of you people out there in YouTube, you're here because you do understand that there's a different side to things than the one you've been led to believe is the only way to think. That's the reason why we're all searching here. That's the reason why we're all, why we actually figure out that this isn't exactly what we've been told that it is. And that kind of dovetails with what we're going to go into next after we do this list here.
Now, is not pushing their way or views on others, but is there a way that you can do that without, telling someone what they have to do? Okay. Can you say, well, for me, this is what works for me. Or, you can offer it up as something that this is what I do. You don't have to do it. And this is just, take it or leave it. Here it is. Boom. Used to deal with that in the gym. Oh, how do you do that? How come how can I get, well, this is what works for me. I'm not, it won't work for you. It may not work for you, but you can try it, see how it works. It's totally up to you. Willing to see things in a different light. Can you place yourself in someone else's shoes? Have you ever gone through that exercise? Okay, if I was that person, how can, you ask yourself, like all of this despicable stuff they do to, that these people are doing. And are you, this could be dangerous for some people and I wouldn't recommend it, but can you roll through your mind? How could a person justify doing what they're doing? By what stretch of decency are these people able to twist and torment their values and their morals to a point where they actually can live with themselves after they do some of these despicable acts?
Well, in keeping with that, there's a big difference between being open-minded and being able to look at the different aspects of the situation, and then, crossing over into moral relativism. That nothing matters, nothing is more important than another, that everything is a gray area, there's no black and white. That's not true. That is not the case. But what this means is that you are looking at things and you understand that there are some things that are acceptable, some things that are not acceptable, and they're acceptable because of whether they do good for people. They're unacceptable because of the fact that they don't do good for people, Well,
you've heard me say on the channel numerous times, those who are in service to self will eventually get to a point of deciding that the last two people are left because they have used up everyone else. The last two people are left, and then they get to decide who eats the other one. That is the eventual end result in service to self. It will come down to two remaining individuals who will have to decide who gets to eat the other one. That's really what it boils down to, because it is self-defeating, it is non-propagating. So is there any wonder why they come down to the point of putting themselves into machines? They think that's a resolution.
The singularity.
Putting themselves into a machine and living their lives as some kind of mechanical object that thinks it's alive. There's a big difference. There's a very, very big difference. Okay? So, moving on. Number 9.
That would be number 9. You do not hold grudges. People with high vibrations do not hold grudges. They're quick to forgive and quick to forget. They nurture their connections and know all too well how easy it is to make mistakes in this life. Yeah, that's a fact.
That's a tough one for a lot of people.
It certainly is.
Now, to forgive and forget, okay, it's, okay, are you forgetting or... I mean, if somebody does something to you and do you think it's appropriate to ask for an apology, or is it appropriate for the other person to just, if they feel that there's a necessity for an apology, that they should do it?
I think if you have to ask for an apology, then you're kind of standing on your own, superiority. If you think somebody owes you an apology, you're doing it wrong.
They nurture connections and know all too well how easy it is to make mistakes in life. Acknowledgement of somebody's mistakes, but at the same time, if somebody makes a mistake, then you have to also hold them accountable. If you don't hold them accountable, how quickly do you think they're going to be to make that mistake again, go down that road again, unless they know that there's, there's an objection to them doing that. It hurts people. It hurts, they're not worrying about other people, because obviously if you're involved in it, then there's a chance that you got tied up into their mistake in some form or fashion. Number 10. Time moves by quickly.
Boy,
I did on the last one there. People with high vibrations feel time moving by much more quickly than most other people do. They feel as if hours or minutes and weeks or days each year passes by their eyes within a mere blink. Think of it. Jory Rain. What if there's no resolve though? Okay, can you resolve everything? Okay, can you? Do you have the power to resolve everything? I would suggest no.
Yeah, it's above my pay grade.
Okay. Can you deal with it on your own personal basis and find that place? Okay. If maybe if you did something and you offered an apology and that person continues to hold the grudge or bring it up or whatever, should you apologize again? No, I don't believe so. If you've apologized once and that person comes back and keeps demanding an apology for what you did, then that person is going. They're creating you. They're victimizing you. They're using that as power over you. Don't give them that power. Okay. Time moves like quickly. Okay, is the next one here. That's wow. That's huge. Think of this last year. October 28th, Q started. Look at, how many 2,707 or 8 Q posts now?
2705.
2,705.
2,705 posts.
Okay, and how many days? 365 on average. How many is that a day?
October 28th, so we're looking at about 15 months.
Okay, so how about what is that average to a day? How many Q posts a day?
Well, let's figure that one out. Let's take a look at it.
About 7 a day.
Yeah, it's 15 months.
Five to 7 Q posts a day. And we complain when we don't get any for 3 or 4 days or 7 days or 10 days, The longest I think we've gone was 23 days. Is that a Q post?
Average of just over 6 posts a day if you count 15 months.
Mm-hmm.
6 posts a day.
Okay.
Yeah, time has really flown by.
Mm-hmm.
And you think of all the relationships, all the connections you've made with people in just the last 15 months.
Mm-hmm.
In just the last year, that Patriot Soapbox has been, live streaming.
Mm-hmm.
We commemorated the birthday on the 26th of January. And I mean, in just this last year, think of the connections you've made. Think of the people you've met. Think of the joy of knowing all these people, all you people out there in live stream right now, every one of you. If I could fit you in my living room, I'd have every one of you over for dinner every night. Every one of you. Trolls included.
Just remember, he cooks on it. It might take a while. He cooks on a hot plate.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. But I guarantee you, if you come to my house for dinner, you won't go away hungry. You're going to like what you eat.
All right. Number 11 there, DC.
As long as you like steak.
Yeah, steak. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as long as you like steak. You're going to like what you eat. As long as
red meat.
Yeah. All right. Number 11, you have found emotional balance. People with high vibrations are able to balance out their emotions. They do not overreact to things and tend to think their reactions through. When something upsets them, they ask themselves, why is it upsetting them? And go from there. Boy, I'll tell you what, that's one I need to work on sometimes.
Let's see. Thank you, Ricky. She says, Thumper is very wise. He could have played computer games. So who has the trains? I rest my case.
Gotcha.
Well, that's the thing. It's to play a video game does not. It does. I have, when it's done, you turn it off and it's gone, and it's what's there? What do you have left? What do I have to show for it? I don't have this page of written stuff that I worked on. No, I've got this, this memory of a computer game. But, when I do my training or I build something, I, go out and work in the garage, whatever. And I step back and I have something I can look at, something tangible. Okay. It is, for lack of anything else to do, that's why. Marcia Kay says, Thumper, bed and breakfast headed to your house. I'll bring in Deadcat and he can bring his hot plate.
Yep. There you go. As long as you like steak.
Bring your own can of beans. Okay, Desert Rose, yeah.
You get whatever you want to eat as long as it's steak. And by the way, I'm going to throw a little bit of an argument on that gaming thing there. There's more to it than just walking away with, hey, I won the game, or hey, I did real well in the game. There's a lot more to it than that. There's a sense of accomplishment that comes from having bested opponents in an environment that you are absolutely you're the target.
I want to bring something out. Okay, Dubious Maximus said, sadly, I have to ask God to help me with grudge. There are some things I cannot let go of: torture of children, murder, etc.
That's a hard one.
That is an incredibly great point.
I pray on that every day.
And all the only way we have to deal with that, I believe, is we know for a fact that God has a special place for the unprotected, the innocent. That's the children. And he will heal them, and they, their tormentors will answer to God. And I believe that he will take that grudge that you may have for those people, and he will deal with it appropriately, which means those people that have committed that will not be around. Well, let's put it this way. They will know the end of time, because it will come when his judgment falls on them. That will be the end of their time.
And that's the answer to the prayer right there. Hand it over to God. He makes the judgment.
We, in God's grace, will, be eternal, just like God. They will not. And I'll take, eternity in heaven than the torment that they will feel as they know that they will never see the end of time, or I don't know. There's, they will not be around to torment us again. It will be done. They've sealed the deal. So, and if I care, and is that grudge? Is it because and ask yourself, can you feel guilty because you weren't there to help those children? And we can't be everywhere. We can't be everything. That's why God is there to take these things that we can't be there for. Okay. He's watching, he's listening, he knows. And, however, if we are in a place and a time where we could do something about it, then, but we can't, it will be dealt with. Okay. Anything else on this? When someone gets upset, or when something upsets them, they ask themselves, why is this upsetting them, and go from there. Yeah. Again, ask yourself, why does this upset you so much? Okay. And let's not go, the issue we were just talking about, is huge. I mean, it's monumental. It's the pinnacle, I believe, of they're absolutely, indescribable evil. All right.
That's the biggest test of our faith.
But at the same time, that guy that cuts you off in the traffic, the person that calls you up and harangues you over something that because they are just upset, whatever, those are the things you have to ask yourself. Okay, do you get upset, or how do you deal with those things? It's real easy to get all upset real fast and fly off the handle. And maybe sometimes that's appropriate. Maybe it's not. But if it's appropriate, it's like I read the riot act to somebody down at the courthouse because of the way they were treating my mother. But I was sitting there watching this person treat my mother that way, and I basically put a stop to it.
That they deserved it.
But it was measured. I was definitely upset. They knew I was upset, but I handed it back to them, and I said, "Are you serious? Are you? I won't go into it, but it's. Can you keep your head about you so that you can approach them on an intellectual level that is appropriate for what's going on?" How about it, live chat? Anybody out there?
Let's see. It just jumped out. Oh, USMC Mom says, "Wow, smoke clear. That was me. Truck cut me off. I just laughed and slowed down." Not me. I cuss at him. Then I laugh and slow down. You moron. All right.
Yeah. Or you can deal with it by, God bless your sweet little heart. That's like in Southern, you idiot.
Bless your little pointed head.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if we fly off the handle, then if you want to, don't look at this as being control freaky, all right? But if you want to be in control of the environment around you, be in control of yourself first. Think about when you're raising your kids. When did things fly off the rails? When you lost control of yourself and screamed, "I'm going to rip your head off." Well, the kid knows immediately you're not going to rip their head off. Hopefully, anyway. So they, mom's irrational or dad's irrational. Have you accomplished anything? No, not really. But if you're in control, look, if you do that again, you're going to your room, you assign them something that they know is entirely feasible, possible, and you've probably done it before. And when you deal with them in a rational way, then it almost requires that they respond in a rational way.
Yeah, they have no choice.
Mm-hmm.
They really have no choice. You don't leave them out. You don't leave them. You don't leave them that emotional, blast that they otherwise would just bring out.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the way it is. This is what you're going to do. So now do it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Exactly right. USMC Mom says you can't control stupid.
Yeah. Well, and if somebody wants to be stupid, unless they're jumping on your back, beating on your head, sometimes it's just better off to walk away. Okay? Unless they're tormenting you physically, if you have a way to just, turn and walk away and, because no, you cannot fix stupid. And you're not going to beat it into them. You're not going to yell it into them. you know, and all they're doing is just pushing your buttons. That's kind of evil, in my opinion. Just you know, I mean, if they're that ignorant, then nothing they do is going to do anything. If they're that obstinate, then they are just there to push your buttons.
Yep.
Okay. Things always seem to be falling into place.
Yeah. TJ, hold on. Before you go any further, let's go with this. TJ really hits it on the head, and it brings it right around to our straight shooting show too. TJ says, as a concealed carry holder, it is especially my responsibility to not allow any of my actions to escalate a situation.
Absolutely.
Boy, I tell you, that therein lies as clear a definition of responsibility, coupled with you know, the liberty to carry.
Do you have the power? Yes. With great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly right. You know.
Okay.
Exactly right. Yeah. Apologies to the writers for Spider-Man who came up with that. But actually,
that was probably a quote, probably long before that.
Oh yeah. I'm certain it is. But they brought it out in that movie, and it
did come out in that movie.
Yeah.
Yes. So now this next one, number 12, is the one I've been waiting on because it was the one I was going to refer back to. Things always seem to be falling into place. People with high vibrations are always having things happen in their lives. They always seem to be doing fun stuff or having things handed to them. While they're working hard, most people who are operating on a low vibrational level cannot see it. Okay? I got to tell you, things seem to be falling into place. Why are you here? Is this 24/7? Is Q? Is President Trump? Then ask yourself, did things fall into place? Is this one of the things that you have been praying for? Never thought that you'd see the day when we would have these kinds of conversations, that we would have thousands of people tuning in to Patriot Soapbox or the In the Matrix or any of the other websites, news media being called out for all the despicable stuff that, you know, the history, the real history coming alive, all of these things coming out. Did you ever think that it would ever happen? But it did. Things always seem to be falling into place. Interesting, huh?
Yeah, and it's fun too.
It absolutely is.
As you go through your day, you know, you think, and the more you rail against things that you have no control over, the less you're able to see these things. You know, like today, on a personal level, today I was waiting for something that they said was going to show up that didn't show up, and it was just, you know. And so
he was fit to be tied, by the way.
Oh, I just let this whole thing just get me down, and it, you know, and
get you down or spin you up.
Well, it kind of had a double effect on that, you know, as our sister Sassy Q can confirm, you know. But nonetheless, you know, once I got a handle on it and realized what it was that was really, you know, cooking my goodies there, you know, it all came back around, and it just started once again falling back into place. So, you know, it's something we, you know, most of us probably struggle with every day. We think about it every day. You know, if how are things going? Well, if they're going well, you know, things always falling into place. If they don't seem to be going well, you don't see them falling into place. They're still doing it. It's still happening. You know,
Well,
the world
yeah,
is still spinning on its axis. You're still, you know, things are still happening like they should. You just, you know, you've closed your mind off to looking at it.
well, what closes your mind off? Anger, frustration.
Effectively service to self.
If you get all wrapped up in it, and the emotions are just flying, you know, are you being situationally aware, or are you buried in that cell phone, walking down the street, waiting to run into a pole? Okay. One is passive, the other one is more aggressive, but the same thing is, it's taking in the totality of what's going on. I mean, can you change any of it? No. I mean, I can offer up all kinds of different explanations and testament to, how these things have dealt with in my life. But, if you just patience is huge.
I think there's a statement for that. This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. I have said that I don't know how many times. This too shall pass. Not everything is perfect. Not everything is permanent. Not everything, everything is changing. Everybody that's getting impatient with Q and all of this. And I think one of the good points about that is when Q is not posting, what do? Well, we don't shut down 24/7 just because Q isn't posting. No. Actually, I'm starting to have more fun if we only have 2 or 3 Q posts to go through, like say in our morning show, because we get to have all that fun of putting out that other news, the things that are happening in our lives. I have a ton of fun with that. DC and I both, we love what we do. We love our job.
I love my job. That's exactly
Absolutely.
Right.
And so, you just move on to doing something different. Okay? You find something else to do. Don't get all stuck in waiting for Q to tell us what our next move is. Because, if we substitute the Mockingbird media and just put Q in there, what have we changed? Nothing. Okay. Yes, Q is giving us things to think about. He's giving us basically assignments, but we are perfectly capable of learning without going down that road.
He's teaching us to create our own assignments.
Mm-hmm.
That's the joy and the challenge of Q.
Mm-hmm.
Learn for yourself.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you how many times that, you and Sassy will remember this. Remember when I couldn't find that stupid remote? You guys were up here and I couldn't find the stupid remote.
That's right.
And I was digging all over the house, and I was being a total butthead, actually.
Well,
I have to admit at the time.
We all turned your house upside down.
Yeah, and we were looking for that stupid remote, because
and we're telling each other under our breath, he's never going to let this go until he finds that remote. We better help him find it.
I mean, it was terrible. That was awful. I do not, And they had to leave. It was Sunday, and you guys had to leave, go home. And I'm not sure if I think I caught you about the time you got to Sassy's house. And I sheepishly said, "I found the remote."
Yeah.
Oh, where was it? It was sitting on the sheets in the linen closet. And I can remember carrying that thing around And for whatever reason, I can't remember why I was in the linen closet, but I set the silly remote on the top of the sheets there. And then after you left, I think I was doing, doing up some laundry and everything. And I went to, I opened up the door, and there, sitting right there in front of my face, is that stupid remote sitting on top of the sheets.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. And I'd gotten all up in my knickers about this stupid remote. And as soon as I diverted myself and started worrying about other things, stopped looking for the damn thing and just resolved to the idea, okay, it didn't disappear into the ether. Okay.
That we knew.
It will show up somewhere. And it was almost within, an hour or so, or 2 hours later, think, oh, look at what's there. Okay.
Sassy Q says, yes, Kiko told you to behave.
Yes.
In no uncertain terms.
Yeah. I still have the scar. Well, I think the dog sensed my, I was upset, and he was just thinking that, that upsetness was at him, and because he was, all I was doing was trying to fish underneath the couch and find my stupid remote.
Yeah. Which
I got a little too close to the dog.
Yeah.
And I was tense. Yeah.
Cheryl Wilson says, put a GPS on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Or in it.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Shall we go to number 13?
Number 13.
Okay. And it is, your intuition is quite powerful. People with high vibrations are usually very intuitive. They listen to their gut feeling and never ignore it. When the voice in their head speaks, they know it is saying something important. And to follow up with that, the more you nurture your connection to this world, the more prominent your vibration will become. There is always room for improvement in the world of energies.
Okay.
Now, about the intuition, I don't know how many times a day I've got to remind myself, go with your gut. And I will attest to this, as I have many, many times before. The times I have ignored my gut have been the times that I have failed the worst. And when I go with my gut, it almost always, and I really cannot place a point in my life where I can't put my finger on a point in my life where if I had followed my gut, I wouldn't have come out correct. Yeah.
That's why, again, back to the Q movement. When I saw that first Q post and then the ones following it, I was overjoyed. And then at the same time, I watched and listened to President Trump when he went to Saudi Arabia and did that speech in that big, beautiful hall there in Saudi Arabia, and mentioned the words sovereign and sovereignty over and over and over again. And I'd never heard that from the words of from the mouth of a president before, talking so specifically about sovereignty and doing it in a foreign country, the likes of Saudi Arabia. I mean, that was huge. That was absolutely huge. And at that moment, my whole world changed, because it's that, my gut was saying, this is it. It's happening.
You instantly know it's true.
You instantly know something is good, and I know that we've had our little doubts and little things along the way, but, we also have to realize that, we are now, they have told us, get some popcorn, enjoy the movie, enjoy the show. Because so much of this, I think we're going to find out, has been so incredibly scripted that, it's going to knock your socks off when you figure it out, when you see the whole picture.
Yeah, when you find out what's already been done. So many things. I mean, look at North Korea. North Korea was a done deal well before anybody knew anything had happened there. North Korea was a done deal. And then, and they played it out as a, as a scripted event, with President Trump meeting with Kim and et cetera. But the work had already been done. The table had been set,
Mm-hmm.
and the players were all in place.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a done deal. The deal was struck that no more missiles, no more nuclear underground tests. None of this stuff was going to happen any longer, and it hasn't. And you remember just the other day, he says 15 months ago. You count back 15 months, and when was that meeting that he had with Kim? That was what, in June?
Mm-hmm.
That's not 15 months ago. When is 15 months ago? That's October of last year, of the year before last.
Well, I think it was November 11th.
November 11th, 11/11. That's exactly right. Thank you for the correction. November 11th, 11/11. Done deal. And nobody even knew about it. Nobody in the mainstream media even knew about it, had an inkling of it until Trump met with Kim in June.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, we've got about an hour left of the program here. So we're going to dive into the next section of this, which is, okay, so much of this is a setup for this next section. Let's just read this section down here. Not sure how to make sense of this? Want to learn how to discern like a pro? Read this essential guide to discernment, analysis of claims, and understanding the truth in a world of deception. 4 keys to discernment. Advanced truth-seeking tools. All right.
Okay.
This is a link.
Before we go any further, Sassy Q is bringing up that point. I thought it said 17 things.
What's 13 plus 4 more?
Yep.
Dun, 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 dun. Discernment. Patience.
This is really interactive here. This is one we all need to work at. This is one that's been taught to us and has been attempted to be untaught. Our ability to actually see and understand those things going on around us.
Okay, and this is something else, okay, because of this show, because of some of the things that we deal with on this show, we dive into the what if. Okay, and how many of you guys out there that are still with us, I think they're messing with their numbers out there.
They are messing with their numbers. I watched them drop by 500 in a matter of probably 2 minutes. Interesting.
Boogers. Anyway, the idea of discernment. Okay. We mentioned it quite a bit on some of the things that we talk about. And I know that all of you, how many of you actually go out? Have you ever watched an alien YouTube video? Have you watched, Jordan Sather deals a lot with Secret Space Force. Have you ever watched any of those videos? And you look at them, you listen to them. What does that, how much weight do you give it? Do you, I watch a ton of those videos and I get a little bit of something from each and every one of them. But one of the things, do we want to spend, an hour showing a video on the show, which we can't do because of copyright issues and those kinds of things, with lack of permission to redistribute those on our channel here. And so we're left with doing articles and things like that, where there's 100 YouTube videos for every article that we probably get our hands on.
At the very least.
Deal with. And so I'm sure that you guys out there are doing the, watching the videos, different things. All these different videos that talks about what Hillary might be doing, what these guys are doing, all this stuff. tons and tons of videos out there. And how do you go through them and discern the truth from them? Is it wrong to watch them? I don't think so. Because with everything, there's a shred of truth. How do you extract that shred of truth?
Eyes of Texas is saying, I just put the link to that that we're going to be going through, and he says he got a virus attack as soon as he went to that link. So if you people are getting that kind of a, let's see, let me open it in a new tab and see what it says. I did not have that issue. I don't know what's going on with you there, Eyes of Texas, but it just opened quite nicely for me with no issues. So sorry about, disrupting the flow there.
Oh, no problem.
I don't want to give out a link that's going to cause people problems.
Oh, I've been in and out of this website all day long, and I haven't had any issues with it at all.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've been looking at it, reading the various parts of it. It is a very long article, just so you people know.
We won't finish it in an hour that we have.
Where there's no possible way. We got 47 minutes left to go. There's no possible way we're going to cover the whole thing, but we can get a good bite out of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this article is by Justin Deschamps, and it starts out, "We have all heard how important discernment is. In an age of deception, seeking the truth with wisdom is essential. It's a survival skill. The pros use established methods of discerning that we would greatly benefit from understanding, marrying logic with intuition to form a coherent tool set for meeting the challenges of belief that life has to offer. I'll show you 4 key steps that are extremely effective when it comes to discerning a claim, belief, or experience. We'll also discuss some pitfalls to avoid." Okay. And he says here in a note, "I wrote this following article for Divine Frequency. It is one of the most comprehensive and succinct presentations on discernment I've ever produced. And yet, it's only the tip of the iceberg. In the future, I'll be producing more content like this, providing research and tools that greatly enhance our information analysis and usage skills." And then he says you can send him feedback, and he gives you an email address that you can send feedback to. Okay. What discernment is not. Before we talk about what discernment is, we should discuss some misconceptions. Firstly, discernment isn't about confirming something you hope is true or want to be, and it's not about making you feel better about what you already believe. Discernment requires honest truth seeking. You have to want to know the truth, even if it means letting go of a belief you've had for a long time.
Yep, that's a biggie. And that's
Okay.
very hard for people to do, and very dangerous in your way of thinking.
Okay. Think of, some Hollywood actor that you have admired. It'd be very upsetting if Clint Eastwood turns out to be a creepy person.
Let's go with Robert De Niro. Look at the turnaround that, I always respected the guy. I always thought he was a good patriot. He was a strong individual. I mean, look at the roles that he's had, and it turns out he's one of the creepiest jerks on the planet.
And the funny thing is, I'd never have liked the guy. Never cared for him. I've watched some of his movies, but I've never cared for him. And it's just, I did not dislike him, but I've never been a huge fan of his. So be willing to be wrong so you can learn how to be right. I think that's a huge, DC's giving me double thumbs up there. So I think he's in agreement.
Absolutely. That's a hard one to learn too.
Be willing to be wrong.
That is a hard that is a hard one to take a bite out of.
Absolutely. In order to do that, what do you have to set aside? What's one thing that you have to set aside in order to admit that you're wrong?
Confirmation bias.
Ego.
You bet.
That ego. Yeah.
My way or the highway.
Yeah. Yeah. Secondly, discernment is more about the process than the result. I know this is a process. Okay, yeah. We've talked about process before, but this is a little bit different. This is about
call it the scientific method.
The scientific method, yes.
Call it the scientific method.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's always searching, never arriving.
Great point. Great point. I know we want a definitive answer. Yes, yes. I want to know that you're going to be finished with that by tomorrow. It has to be done by tomorrow. You know, I want a definitive answer. How come you cannot finish it by tomorrow? Yeah. In quotes, yes, this claim is true, or no, it's not. Close quote. But rarely does a discernment process give us such clear results. Oh, something just flashed into my mind. Okay, that woman the other day in that hearing that insisted that he give a yes or no answer. Was that DC? Was that Maxine Waters or?
No, that was what was her name? That was.
I only heard it on the news, but they played it on. I was in the car, was listening to Fox News, and they were playing it. So I didn't have the visual. All I had was this woman. A yes or no, yes or no. I need it, yes or no. And I really didn't know the whole context of the thing. And I heard the guy kept trying to, answer, and all she would accept was yes or no.
Sheila Jackson Lee.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yes or no. She wanted a definitive answer, but her whole reason for that was there was not a definitive answer. And so she was trying to force him into making a claim one way or the other, and it was a trap that she was setting for him. Mm-hmm. And he refused. I can't remember who who was being at that point interrogated. Not questioned.
That was Whitaker.
Was that Whitaker?
That was Whitaker. That was a Whitaker hearing. Yes. And okay. She was just. I mean, she set the whole thing up in the first place. She might as well have just said, we're about to present a perjury trap here, and we're going to try to force you into falling for this perjury trap. So here's the bait. Oh, I know it's not very good bait, but here's the bait. So, and he didn't fall for it.
Mm-mm. No.
Oh, she was pissed.
Oh, yeah.
She was pissed. She wasn't getting what she wanted. And she kept looking over at Nadler, Nadler, kept looking over to him. Make this guy give me a yes or no answer so I can get him, so I can do a gotcha.
Yeah. No, I haven't heard enough from Whitaker to, recognize his voice on the radio. And so since I was in the car, I didn't have the faces to relate to that. I just heard the thing and I went, oh my God, this is horrible. This woman needs to be taken out and flogged. Okay. But rarely does a discernment process give us such clear results. Instead, discernment is more about using a personal investigation process that first and foremost gives you personal knowledge and understanding. You actually learn something that expands your complement of truth. Okay? Getting to the answer of true or false shouldn't be your focus. That's more of a side effect of honest and complete investigation.
Here's a little piece of discernment. If you look back at that last sentence, you actually learn something that expands your complement of truth. Who out there in discernment understands the mistake made in that last sentence? Just a fun one. There is a quiz later. Now's later. This is the quiz. Who reads that sentence and understands the mistake made in that sentence? All right, all right. So nobody's going to jump on it. Compliment. Two different spellings for compliment. One means one thing, one means another thing. The I should be an E in there. Compliment should be the aggregate of truth is what they're looking for, not compliment as in complimenting you on your appearance or something like that. It's a different thing entirely. Two different words, two different spellings, same pronunciation, but two different meanings. So, just a thought there.
Well, you make a very good point, though.
It's important.
Well,
it's
yeah,
important.
okay, yeah, but yeah, you make a good point. Be willing to be wrong so you can learn how to be right. Okay, I didn't know that. I could say, oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't even recognize. No, I had no idea. Thank you for the education. Grammar Nazi.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
No,
one of my greatest failings and one of my greatest joys.
Be willing to be wrong so you can learn how to be right. Okay. And I took some of the sting out of it by calling him a grammar Nazi. Okay. Defense mechanism. Okay. Really. Think about it. I mean, that's really what I just did was, it's kind of, okay, I can be wrong. Thank you for being right.
You bastard.
Okay. But, and that's how, if you can learn to deal with these things and I know DC's not going to take it personally.
Of course not.
Okay. And I'm not going to take it personally, And so we're going to move on. Getting to the answer of a true or false shouldn't be your focus. That's more of a side effect of honest and complete investigation. And what did we just get an example of? Honest and complete investigation. Somebody who knew something that we weren't catching brought it to our attention. And that's part of our responsibility to investigate. Thank you for that, DC, really, seriously. If you find yourself leaning toward an answer, but you don't understand why it's true, then you've missed out on what discernment should provide you, which is understanding. Okay. Are you still just going on a gut feeling, or does that gut feeling maybe have a little bit of weight behind it? A little bit of truth, a little bit of knowledge, which is understanding. The discernment should provide you, which is understanding. Okay, if you seek for understanding instead of an answer, then a conclusion related to the question of, is this true or false, naturally presents itself. That's huge.
That is huge. That is huge.
You want to take this next one?
Absolutely. What is discernment? What is discernment? I would guess would be the emphasis on that, since what is not discernment, I think, was the name of the last portion. Discernment is defined as the act of judging well. But what are we judging? No matter what it is you're trying to discern, the same basic factors are at play: a claim, reality, and comparison. Whether you're trying to see if someone told you the truth, attempting to determine if a personal experience and resulting meanings are accurate, or if you're delving deep into highly abstract concepts like the ultimate nature and purpose of existence, discernment is one of the tools you'll use. Why is it important? Because true knowledge is the master key to unlocking all our potentials. The ultimate problem solver is a mind guided by the truth. We need true knowledge. That's big. That is big. The ultimate problem solver is a mind guided by the truth. Once you have determined to understand the truth, to see what's real and what's not real, what is actually in front of you and what you're being led to believe is in front of you, you're on the road to discernment. We need true knowledge to do things correctly in the world. To play music properly, you need wisdom, the accumulation of true musical knowledge. To run, and I would say that does not necessarily include, all the days, dates, and places that, Mozart and Beethoven and all these grand masters of music lived, breathed, and wrote their stuff. That's not the real musical knowledge. The real musical knowledge is, how do notes, what vibrational level do notes reach at? What is the, what is the scale, the musical scale, et cetera, et cetera. All these days, dates, and places. That's what they tried to pound into us as kids. Where memorize this, memorize all the names of the presidents, memorize all the days they were born, memorize this, memorize that. Okay, that teaches your memory to work, but it really doesn't teach you any kind of discernment as to what the importance of each one of those factors is. To run
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. It's the chat is having some good comments out here. I'm sorry.
Well, that's great. Let's do that.
No, keep going. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. To run a successful business, you need true knowledge of the business. You would know that one, brother. The more true knowledge you accumulate, the more you can understand the past, master the present, and work to realize a self-directed, satisfying future. And you brought that up earlier in one of the what you were discussing as far as your insurance business. You have made determinations as far as what you are willing to do and what you're not willing to do based on what you found out and know to be true.
Mm-hmm.
You used your discernment and your level of moral compass to decide which parts of those things you're willing to bend a little on and which parts that you're going to say solidly, absolutely not. I'm not going to go there.
Well, it boils down to, in the world that we live in, the world that they have created for us, unless you've got a couple of $1 billion in your pocket, you need to have some kind of insurance, additional funds. All right. Because, it's the way they've got the system designed. And if you try to go on your own, they'll drain your pockets. But if you buy some of their money, which is basically what you're doing when you're buying an insurance policy, you're buying the use of their money. They're putting their money on the table. They're taking a stake in what happens to you to some degree. Okay. But at the same time, they're draining your pocket slowly. All right. It's one way of, putting up a soft or a softer defense shield rather than a hard, solid defense shield. Let's, to use metaphors.
A fence instead of a wall, could we say?
A see-through fence instead of a solid wall. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I kind of like that.
All right.
Gee, let's see. Who in our recent past has said something to that effect? It might have been our president.
But at the same time, and at the same time, as far as my business, I've been sitting back and I've been watching what they're doing to us. How the financial industry has been slowly manipulating this thing in a multi-generational. You have to remember, this thing moves like molasses. In the scheme of things, okay, thousands of years to get where we are. to build this, to develop this, to work this to where it is, or at least thousands of years in our perception. And I'm throwing that out there for a reason, because there's people out there that are saying our perception of time is different than God's perception of time. Okay? For God, all of this happens in a moment.
Maybe.
But
maybe it's all happened already.
Okay.
Maybe it has yet to happen. We don't know.
Well, how do you discern that?
I like one of the comments out there, and we've said it I don't know how many times. To be Ninth Chamber says, can't allow your belief system to hide the facts. And another way of putting that, I think we've said, I don't know, hundreds of times on the channel, you are certainly entitled to, and you can have your own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not entitled to your own facts.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely, Ninth Chamber, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, DC. Sorry, David.
To continue, role of consciousness. Consciousness is the foundation for all subjective (personal) experience. The mind is the tool we use to gather data about our experience, whether internal feelings, insights, and intuitions, or external observations and sensations. All of the above, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
The body provides the setting for experiencing what the mind records, which includes feelings as well as intellectual data points or nuggets of information. It's all valid. One has no, ascendance over the other. But there are times when our feelings get in the way of reality, as in when our opinions become more important than facts. Stated another way, the mind is the tool we use to recognize patterns. Patterns recorded in the mind are representations of reality, not reality itself. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That is a
patterns. Okay. Again, let's go back to my business. Patterns. How many of you have heard, insurance industry? Okay, if you're between the ages of 18 and 21, your insurance rates are going to be higher because you're a terrible driver.
Statistical analysis. Okay.
Statistically, they can prove that. One of the things that they've been using recently, and I disagree with it, I don't think they can show it. They can show some statistics that more or less support it, but I don't believe that it has the impact that they're saying it does, and that is, if you have poor credit, then you are a bigger insurance risk than if you have good credit. And I can show you the exact opposite in many cases. And if you have poor credit, typically you are not your ability and your available funds are less than somebody who has good credit, most likely. All right. And as a result, they're going to charge you more for your insurance, thereby creating a bigger problem, making you a bigger problem for them in the first place. Okay. If you
actually it's the opposite of that. It's making them a bigger problem for you.
Well, yeah, but I mean, in the end result, if you want to have insurance, you're going to pay more for it than somebody who can probably afford to pay more. But
yeah, a 620 credit rating is going to pay more than a 780 credit rating.
Correct.
Exactly right.
Okay. So but it's the patterns. Okay. Now, when I leave work and I'm driving home, I follow a pattern of which lane I drive into, when I switch from one lane to another, because I have driven that way and I've recognized the pattern in the traffic flow. And it's actually, I get home, 4 or 5 cars ahead of the guy. No, I don't have to speed, but no, and it's less frustration because, one lane stops and starts and stops and starts, and the lane that I drive in doesn't stop and start. And I can pretty much, 9 times out of 10, my lane will move faster than the other lanes. And I see these people drive that same route every day. And why am I the one that notices that? And a lot of these other people just drive along and don't notice it. Because I watch the world around me. That's part of that vibrational thing, I think.
You pay attention.
I'm paying attention. I'm judging as I go. Recognizing patterns. Very, very important. When you were machining and putting together, developing, a new part, you had to follow a pattern, and if you didn't follow a procedure, which is a pattern, and you did it a different way, did it always work out the way it should have?
Sometimes you discover a better way of doing it by doing that, but generally speaking, there are tried and true methods, and if you follow the tried and true methods, that you will get to your end result without ending up having to do it over. And one of the biggest things about, especially if you have a fiduciary obligation to the company you work for, or you have a financial stake in it your own self, doing it right is much better than doing it over.
But discerning patterns of people's patterns. Once you get to know somebody well enough, and especially if their patterns are, egregious, noticeable, over the top, don't do that to that person because you mentioned that they're going to go. So you've recognized a pattern there. So you kind of, you adjust for that pattern. So, you're observing, you're taking in the world, and you're recognizing patterns. Okay, go ahead, Deadcat. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
Further than
that's what we are doing. What we said we were going to do. We're deep diving into this. We have not yet got to the 4 points, but we will. We'll get there. Consciousness is the dynamic exploration and experience of patterns recorded by the mind. Emotions are the overall holistic impression that we feel in response to what is recorded in our mind, polarized in either a negative or positive expression, dependent on our values, desires, and pre-existing knowledge. All these factors work together, giving us what we experience every day. And how did we describe that? Or I have very, very often, I look at it as attitude, an attitude in the sense of aviation attitude. Whereas if you're flying an airplane, you approach a situation, a storm front, or a nice, calm, beautiful day, sunny day, or whatever. You have an attitude. You have the way that your plane is flying. You fly with the wings, straight, outward from you, horizontal, and you're flying at a certain altitude, and you're flying smoothly with a certain amount of fuel usage, etc. It's an attitude. It's an approach to what you're doing, and you change your attitude to meet the requirements of the situation, the terrain, the changes in air pressure, whatever. It's
okay.
It's operating using your discernment, and
yes.
Your consciousness is what decides what you're seeing and how you approach it. All right. Consciousness is a laboratory where we conduct research and investigation to determine if a claim is true or not. The territory, do you want to go from here?
Yeah, I'll pick it up from here.
All right.
Okay, the territory and our map of knowledge. Your mind is the ultimate recording device. Yeah, it is. Even though you are only consciously aware of a small fraction of what's happening at any given moment, your subconscious records everything. Think about that. Yeah. All these things going on around your mind, in this room where I'm sitting right now. The TV's on across the way. I can see maybe it might be getting a little foggy outside because the neighbor's porch lights are looking foggy. All of these things are going on, but my concentration, what I'm looking at right now, is the screen and trying to concentrate on what we're doing here. But my subconscious is aware of all of these things going on. If something were to change in any one of those things, I would go, wait, the neighbor just turned off his porch lights or whatever. The mind is essentially a map maker, a cartographer. It takes all the pieces of your experience, like the chair you're sitting in right now, or the time of day based on ambient light, and records each element as a unique data point, which is a symbol on your map of knowledge. The thing you observe is the territory, raw or primary reality. While your mind records these observations as thought forms, ideas, or memories, they're maps of knowledge. Psychologically, you don't actually interact directly with the world. There's too much information buzzing around you for you to do that. Think about it. So many things. I mean, there's little air currents that are touching every little part of your body. Your subconscious is recognizing it and feeling it. That's the feeling of heat, cold, whatever. The light, I'm looking over here. It's not as light. Over here, it's dark. It's just, all of these things are going on. But what do you give your attention to? Where is my focus? Okay. There's too much information buzzing around for you to do that. Instead, your mind creates maps of knowledge, or a kind of biological virtual reality environment where the individual components of experience can be, in quote, seen, close quote, in the mind's eye. Decisions are made from there. In this sense, it's as if part of us that makes choices, exercises free will, is hovering over a desk with maps on it. This is very similar to the Pixar film Inside Out. I've never seen the movie Inside Out. Have you?
Neither have I.
I don't know anything about that movie.
I'm a little leery of Hollywood offerings.
Yeah, well, yeah. So the right brain works to harmonize or make a single picture of what you experience at any given moment. Hence, it plays a role in generating emotional charge. The left brain works to break up your experience into threads. For example, imagine yourself watching a sunset overlooking a mountain valley filled with streams, grass, trees, singing birds, buzzing bees, and wildlife. I can see that picture in my head right now. Your emotional or right brain aspect of consciousness sees the whole picture. Oh, it's so beautiful. You just take it all in. Okay? A singular experience. And it's the intellectual and the left brain aspect that sees each of these things in the territory as separate, discrete objects. Oh, that tree, look at and that tree, and it's got some roots and the leaves on it, and on the sunset, that ought to be beautiful. Oh, and over there, how did that valley get there? What gorged out that valley? I mean, there's the intellectual side of we're looking at that picture. Oh, is that granite over there?
Yeah, I wonder what the elevation of that peak is, and I wonder what the actual distance is. Boy, I wish I had a rangefinder that would reach that far.
Oh, boy, and I'm going to have to get out of here because look at that thunderstorm coming. Okay? Okay.
Details.
Yeah. But, God, that thundercloud is just, look at that thing, and combined with the rest of the scene, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That is so cool. Run!
The only reason you can remember a single element of an experience is because the intellectual pattern recognition aspect of your mind identifies things abstractly. Think about that. The only reason you can remember a single element of an experience, oh, remember that time we were up on the hill and that tree, and then that thunderstorm came at us. That's what they just said there. That's that's how the left and the right brains all came together to give you an experience recording. Let's call it. But and you pick out those. It's that intellectual part of you that is pulling out those individual pieces so that you can put some data points on that big picture. Like they said, it's the map and the map points. You're hovering over a map, and these are map points. Okay? But your brain is doing that. That is, a single tree in a beautiful sunset scene is abstract or exists as a thought or an idea, but not in physical reality, because the tree and the landscape can't really be separated from each other. It's only in our consciousness, in our minds, we can separate the tree from the ground from which it springs forth. It is the left brain aspect, the intellectual side, that we use the most when discerning information from an intellectual perspective. Okay, key point. All discernment works by comparing a map of knowledge to reality in some way. A claim, belief, or theory is itself a map of knowledge. Whether it's a personal claim, you just intuited or deduced, or a claim coming from someone else, like a friend, a news agency, a scientific organization, or a government. Okay. I'm reading this. You're listening to it. There's a certain part of this. You're sitting there. What you actually know, what you can actually prove to yourself. I can't prove it to you. You can only prove it to yourself. Is the fact that you are sitting there with whatever device it is that you have, and that you're listening to this, and your ears are hearing this. Is there anything that proves anything of this is real or true? Right. What's true for me is I'm sitting here at a desk. I have a picture over here. I can see little pictures of me and a little picture of DC and the other persons that are signed into the Zoom room, the accounts that are signed into the Zoom room. And what I am reading here, I'm reading the words as they have been printed here. Do I guarantee all these words? My discernment says this is a really cool article and has some value to us, or we wouldn't be spending the last almost 3 hours here going over all of this. But I'm making certain assumptions. And I hope that you guys there's data points that you are gathering from this conversation we've had tonight, this presentation that we've had here tonight. And, we're building on something here that, will be a positive in your life. That's my hopes anyway.
That's our hope here. And by the way, exactly what Thumper just said, a claim has just been made here. Now it's up to you to discern whether or not this is something you find believable or logical or has any validity in your own life.
Okay.
A claim has been made. Now, obviously, we're not going to be able to go much further with this because we don't really have that much time left. But
well, you all have the links to this.
Yes, I have put the links out there.
The links have been out there for the better part of the evening, and that hopefully you guys will take the time to read through it. And we can continue on with this
On our next show.
On the next show, because I think this is very important. There's also a possibility, I don't know, DC and I are discussing that maybe a Saturday morning after 412 and Dr. Meshach.
Possibly.
Well, there's a possibility we might dive in and do a little Saturday presentation. We'll see. If it happens, it happens. So, if for those of you that like to listen to 412 and Dr. Meshach, stick around afterwards. If we don't show up, well, I guess we decided not to. Okay.
Well, or other considerations came in. Possibly they'll have something else that I know Caleb comes on at that time.
Sometimes Caleb comes on. Yeah.
So it remains to be seen whether or not we can work into a time slot there, but or following Caleb possibly. But the point being that we will continue with this either here or on the next
HyperDrive show. It just won't be at the 11 o'clock to 2 a.m. time shift for us until the next HyperDrive show, which is coming up on Monday.
Right.
All right.
And that's quite a while away too. This is kind of a lot of information to absorb all at once. And
remember, for the Democrats, the world comes to an end on Friday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Right. Today is the 14th. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to be in store for us, in the next, because, President Trump has been very, very good at disrupting the patterns. So,
yes, he has.
We'll have to wait and see. Patience.
And I'd like to throw a point out there. At any point in time, has President Trump sold us down the river?
No.
There's a lot of people that have been concerned about whether or not he's going to sign this bogus wall building bill that they've come up with, or compromise, or whatever. Has there ever been a time he did not have the American people's best interests in the decisions he makes? And we have seen many times the omnibus bill as an example. We saw that and we said, don't sign it, it's a trap, it's a bunch of BS. Don't sign it, don't. And then we were all real unhappy. Oh, look, he folded, he signed it. Well, what happened there? It was a wink, wink, and all those people dancing on the table in the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, chief amongst them, dancing on the tables until oh shit, we just got played, didn't we? So.
Well, the funny thing was, we were sitting back here, we had already figured out what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fun part was watching him play it.
Popcorn, get out the popcorn.
Yeah. Watching him play that.
Yeah. So all you people out there who are concerned about whether or not President Trump is going to sign this thing, or whether he's going to fall for the scam that they're putting up there, or all of that, just remember, he's way, way smarter and way, way ahead of every one of them.
I see we have a couple of people just joining in here. I guess they're early risers or whatever. And I'm going to put the link to
Rising Steiners.
Well, actually, I'm talking about somebody in live chat.
Oh, yeah, we got Moen on out there. I see Moen on. Oh, what is he? My insomnia has allowed me to join you this evening, or morning, should I say? LOL. Yeah, well, great to see you.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely, and if I didn't say it before, I want to say it now. Great catch on the Laura Loomer thing. Yeah. That was so good.
Nicely done. Okay, so when we get back with you on this topic of living in a higher vibration, being more aware of the world around you, asking questions, discernment, and all of that. I really do hope everybody has enjoyed what we've presented here tonight. And we're right at step 1 of discernment, absorbing the claim, making a personal copy. Okay. Listening to the claim, listening to the information being presented, which is the claim. And then, how how are you dealing with it? How is that copy being made? Is it being made with biases? Is it being made with an open mind? Is it, are you running that claim through your personal filters? Those personal filters are things that you have built up over your lifetime. That if something starts to look like a duck, it's bit you like a duck before. So, you're just waiting to see whether or not it is a duck and whether it's going to bite you again or not.
Yep.
All right. Those are those filters that we all have. They're based on our own biases and our own feelings and our own knowledge. All right. Think about it. You guys have the links to it. I just put it out there. I'll put it out there again. I want to say thank you to everyone that has joined us tonight. By the way, we have recorded the entire program. Da, 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 da.
This has been a real joy. This has been a good one. I've had a great time. I don't know about you, brother. I've had a great time.
It's been a great show, and I know we've covered a lot of ground. And this is an incredible subject. But it's really important to what we do here on HyperDrive and some of the if we knew that everybody was really operating with discernment out there when we go and we could bring out the most weirdest, freakiest, off the wall stuff and say, here, discern for yourself. It's out there. We found it on YouTube, and it's got 30,000 views on it. Obviously, we're not the only ones that have looked at this. Is mainstream media talking about it? No. Why? Should they be? Or shouldn't they be?
Discernment point right there. Yep. Figure it out. Are they leaving? Are the main characters that are involved in it leaving it alone because they don't want you to look at it? Or are they leaving it alone because it's BS? Find out for yourself. That's discernment.
Yeah. Those are the questions. Okay. Why haven't I never heard of this before? There's a really good question.
Or it's worthless information. Figure it out.
Why is this so prevalent over here and it's not over there? Well, that's controlled. This isn't.
Yeah. If
this isn't controlled, then, and we're getting, and this controlled stuff over here, it's turning out to be a bunch of BS. Well, if the controlled stuff is BS, can you really guarantee that the uncontrolled stuff is not BS? Could the control freaks be putting stuff in the BS side?
One does not necessarily mean the other. Yes, they are not necessarily opposing forces.
So what do you have to do? You have to discern. You have to look, and you have to dig, and you have to, rely on that intuition, rely on that higher vibration that tells you in your mind, this works, this fix. And you're saluting to someone?
I am saluting to Learn, Share, and Classy Lady because we are at
their time. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate you joining us here tonight. Again, wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you for spending it with us. And we'll drop the share here, and I'll give you all the big salute. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Great show, guys.
God bless.